starting the recording again. So this is for the recording's sake. I started at 11:30. Day is December 2nd, and finishing out my last 2 hours for the day of community service. So let's get her done. Sweet. Brush. Who's all here? Just me, Melody, and whoa! There's a bigger list of lurkers than are usually here. Huh. Alright. I have the heater on because I just recently took a shower and my hair is still a little damp, but it's getting a little too warm. Warming up my legs. Although I think I want to put the sweater back on for when it starts getting a little chilly again. But cross that bridge when we get there. Hey, get down from there. There's nothing up there for you. Get. Jack. Silly fat cat. Oh, I meant to weigh him this morning just to see if he's lost any more weight. I think he was up to like 17.6 or 8, and then last time I weighed him, he's back down. He's lost a little weight. He's down to like 17 or 17.2. So he's losing weight. He's not peeing blood anymore. That's good. Hey, no! Get out of there! He's trying to get into my dirty laundry hamper now. Just as long as he doesn't get in my bed, that's all I care about right now, because he was dragging his ass a little while ago because he had a cliff hanging turd hanging off his butt and he was trying to get rid of it. So I had to sweep that up. And last thing I want him to do right now is like try to get all cozy in my bed again. Because this cat, he's kind of smart enough to like crawl between the sheets. Like sometimes he'll like lay on the bed, but then other times, like when he's feeling particularly cold, like it has been this last week, he'll crawl in between my bedding and like lay under the covers. It's cute and funny when it happens. I almost accidentally sat on him one time. I didn't put my full weight on him when I realized what was going on. But yeah, with 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 him having a dangler like that, I'd prefer he clean himself before he gets in my bed again. Where is he? Oh, he's right there. Ugh. Melody says, "Get out of the garbage, or we'll attack your face with the power sander." That's right, Cat. Did you hear that? Did you hear what Melody said? Stay out of the trash. Stay out of my dirty laundry hamper. Stop getting into stuff. Whew. Yeah, I hope that cat cleans himself because I can smell his shitty ass right now. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Melody says Big Chungus. Yeah, he's a big Chungus cat. He's a chunker cat. Yeah, the family has a habit of overeating or overfeeding them. The family has a habit of overeating him. No, overfeeding. Because what they'll do is just like get a big old scoop of cat food and just dump it in the cat dish. And it's like a communal cat dish for all the cats. So all of them come around and just like eat from it. But Fat Jack, he'll eat more than his fair share. And that's why he's so fat. The other cats don't seem to have an issue with it. Like they just seem to eat as much as they need. But Fat Jack overeats a lot. So I have him over here and I'm just keeping him on a pretty strict diet. Like both of us are. Like I got to get back on my diet though. I've gotten back into the habit of like eating something for breakfast, which I've kind of like turned myself away from just for the sake of losing weight because for my health. But recently I've been eating like 3 meals a day again because of like mostly because of that pizza that I made and because of the holiday season. I was just like trying to help out with all the leftovers before they go bad. And there's still a little bit of turkey left, enough for maybe like 2 or 3 sandwiches. So since the holiday season this past Thanksgiving, I've been eating like something for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Whereas before the holiday season, I was only eating like a small portion for lunch and then another small portion for dinner. And I would like have like light snacks throughout the day. And even though I was eating so little, whenever I did have like a small portion meal, like I'd feel so fucking full. That's why my stomach has shrunk to like the small petite portion that it is right now. But I got to get back into that. So I just finished the last bit of like the anchovy pizza that I made for myself like a couple of days ago. So that's it. No more overeating by like having breakfast because I don't really require breakfast. I just wake up, get to drawing and designing, take a small break afterwards, like an hour break for lunch after my first 2 hours of community service, then do my other community service. Once that's done, take another small break for a snack, then get back to work. Phew, cat, you stink. You are not getting back in my bed until you clean yourself proper. Oh, maybe I should scoop the litter too. That could be a contributing factor to what I'm smelling right now. because he had just done that like moments ago before I started streaming, dragging his ass with a shitty cliffhanger, hanging out his poop chute, dragging his ass on the floor, leaving this freaking grease stain from his litter box up to like almost like a couple of feet away from my desk. Oh. Yeah, his litter box isn't too far away either, so I try to like keep it clean as often as possible. I should probably like scoop it out. Melody says, "Cat, you either sort your stank out now, or we're chucking you in the horse water trough." Yeah, yeah. Hey, what are you doing? You can play around, but don't be getting in my bed. Yeah, I think it's definitely the cat. Once he moved, like I think the smell followed him. Melody says, "Until he's clean, he's not temporarily known as Shit Stain Jack. He's now temporarily known as Shit Stain Jack." Right? Mm. You know what? Maybe he's not being hydrated enough. Let me check his water. I thought I had water in there. Oh. Ugh. Yeah, he didn't have any water. Earlier this morning, I woke up at like 4:30, as I mentioned before, and when I was walking around, I accidentally kicked his water over, and I had to sop all that up with some paper towels. But yeah, I thought there was still a little bit of water in there, but turns out there's none. So I just now gave him some water. Hey, no, 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 no! You get off! Get off! Maybe I should just roll up my bedding and put it somewhere, but I got nowhere to put it. Well, if I move some things around, put this right here for now. Okay. Pillows. Bedding. Okay, how do I? Okay, hang on. Roll it up from the top to the bottom. Yeah. There. No snuggling up under my bedding until you get yourself sorted out with your shitty ass. I'm sorry, Cat, but just go ahead and go clean yourself or something. He's so fat though. Sometimes he has trouble doing it, but I'm sure he'll get around to it when he's got a mind to. Okay. No, Cat. Hey, leave that alone. No. Oof. Don't know if you can hear my stomach. It's just churning right now. Melody says, or we conduct an experiment on what happens when you introduce a living cat to a high intensity blowtorch. Melody! You luffy, vicious little fluff. I love you. Is my vicious kitty. Melody says, I'd make Joseph Mangala look like he was just having a bad day. That name sounds familiar. What is that? Like a serial killer? Joseph Mangala. It does ring a clear bell, but I can't associate the name. with anything. The Angel of Death for the Third Reich. Ah! Yes! Mangala. That's right. It's like Mangala, Mangala. I know that name. Joseph Mangala. Okay. Now I remembers. He's on the bed, but I guess that's okay. Just as long. If there's any spots where he's laying where it's just kind of gross, I can just spray it down and kind of scrub it out a little bit. But hell, if I want to end up like washing all of my sheets and my covers, because like trying to wash all that down here with the rink-a-dink like laundromat we have, it's gonna take forever. The place, there's a really good laundromat that's like about an hour drive away, but it's just kind of like too far out of the way. But if I wash my bedding and my sheets, I'd want to take all of it over there because it's a really good laundromat. Usually in that area, all we do is just drive on through. But I had an opportunity to use that laundromat because I was on my way to go take care of other business. So when I use that laundromat, like, oh man, like fucking, it's pretty big, and they got so many washing machines and dryers, and they're all like really good quality and new. And there was hardly anybody in there. The little rink-a-dink laundromat we have down here, like on a busy day, it's like always so packed, and some of the washing machines and dryers are really hit and miss. And like some washing machines are always broken down or leaking, and like the dryers, it's like you got to live here to know which dryers to use because some of the dryers don't heat up all that well. They might get warm, but they don't get as hot as they ought to. But that laundromat that I'm talking about, that's an hour away, fucking really good. Really good. And just so surprised there's like hardly anybody in there. But it's in like a far and out of the way place. But I think it's kind of like a somewhat of a historic site a little bit because it's in the same town where like well, it's in Shiprock, let's just say that. And they have like some paintings of like the old Shiprock Fair from back in the day, paintings and photos. I was like, oh man, just way back when. But we haven't had a Shiprock Fair in the last couple of years because of the pandemic. I'm not sure when we're gonna have another one for a while. But going to the Shipwreck Fair was always fun and interesting. Millie says, "Oh, I already read those. I already read those." Hmm. Oh, you. Some of these cats, they have a habit of like tearing at the foam bedding that I have. Cuckoo didn't have that issue when I had him over here when we all thought he was dying. Once he got better, like even when he got better, like he didn't mess with my foam mattress bedding. But this cat, for some reason, he likes to tear at it and sharpen his claws on it and just rip bits and chunks off of my foam bedding. I should have caught him in the act and gave him a little smack not to do that anymore. Like, I think he's grown used to the fact that he shouldn't be clawing at my building supplies that I still have strewn about here. So he doesn't mess with the insulation. Because I get after him every time I get a sense he's doing that. But he's still tearing at my foam mattress. Because I haven't been able to catch him in the act. Like, I think sometimes he does it late at night when I'm asleep. And just now, I just now missed him doing it. Like I heard the tearing and scratching before, but I thought he was just kind of like pawing my sheets. I didn't know he was like actually tearing away at the foam mattress. So next time I catch him doing it, I'm giving him a bit of a smack. Melody says, to quote Akira, discipline, smack. Yes. You lack discipline. Okay. Whoops. Since I have court tomorrow, my PO might drop in for like a residential inspection. Lately, he's been doing it at night, which is kind of a no-no out here, especially recently. Like the matter's been taken care of, but several months ago, there had been several reported instances of like these young teenage punks. They're native, of course, like running around the res, but yeah, they're going to like they hit several houses, terrorizing like small families, and they do it at night. They would like barge in with guns and just kind of like rob these families and beat some of the family members. Thankfully, no one's been killed, or no one had been killed, but going around with guns and like robbing people, like you never know what was going to happen. But how they would do go about it is that there was a girl and two of her male friends, and what they would do is that the girl would go to the door, knock, and just act innocently and just asking for assistance of some sort. And when someone would come to the door, she would like kind of like point a gun right in their face, get them to back away from the door, and then once she was in, that's when the two males would come in with other weapons, and then they'd um, proceed to rob and beat some of the family that they would. victimize. Thankfully, that's all been resolved and taken care of, I believe, because last I heard, the feds were investigating it, and the girl was positively ID'd because when I broke the news on the on Facebook, just try to make everyone aware, it spread a bit, and then like someone had left a comment, is like, yeah, like I guess there was like some sort of relationship to the girl, and like saying that yeah, like she's been reported, and like the feds are looking into it, and all in all it's like being taken care of, and it's like, oh, good. So people around here are very wary of like callers who come in the night knocking on the doors, and lately that's what my PO's been doing. He's like, shoot, he shouldn't be doing that, especially around this time. Like, it's like people are really jumpy since those attacks had like taken place. But yeah, Melody says, "Get off of my prop, get off of my property, get off of my property, respect my authority." Oh no, Cartman's terrible with authority. Cartman's terrible when he has authority. Authority, respect my authority. Oh God, I love that show. I want to see the new special, but they're only airing it right now on like HBO Max. I better check the satellite channel that we have and see if it's going to be coming up anytime soon. Or I could check online to see when they're going to air it on TV because I want to watch it. I want to watch it. How long have I been? Okay. Pardon. Okay. My arms are starting to get a little bit chilly. So I'm gonna put on this sweater. Fat Jack, don't tear up my bed. No. No. Like he understands what I'm talking about. I gotta catch him in the act and give him a quick smack so he knows. Oh, okay. That's a little cozier. One thing I've noticed with the dogs is that they sometimes it seems like they tend to understand what I'm saying, but for some reason they seem to understand Navajo more. Like I haven't really seen anyone talk Navajo to them all that much, but then they'll respond better to Navajo commands. Like say Dana, like the youngest female pit bull we have. Like sometimes we let her loose, and so she runs around here and there, or sometimes she gets loose herself because her neck is so thick and her head is like kind of small, so she can wriggle out of her collars with ease. And my brother tried to get her like a harness because like she's able to slip out of her collars. So he got her a harness and he like tightens it and like does all this stuff to like make sure it's nice and secure. But this fucking Houdini dog, I don't know how she does it. She like somehow wiggles and twists her way out of the harness and like gets out. Because one moment I see her, she's there like looking at me. She's wagging her tail. She's in her harness, and so I walk around the corner of the house, and so I get to like the adjacent side of the house, and this is only like a matter of like moments, maybe a few seconds, and then I see her like running loose, coming around the other side. It's like, what? What the fuck? A freaking Houdini dog. But anyway, whenever she's running around loose, like I'll try to like yell toward her to like come here. It's like just telling her like Dana, come here, or like get over here. But for some reason, she'll respond better when I tell her in Navajo. Like when I say come here in Navajo, it's like Dana, hogo. Like she'll just bolt right over. And then another instance when I was like watering the dogs, like giving. Oh, that reminds me, I better water the dogs. I'm not even sure if they were fed this morning. I think my brother did feed them because I heard him like messing around with the dog food. But then when the dogs hear that, they'll start barking and just like cause like a big ruckus because they're happy about getting fed. I didn't hear that ruckus this time. Like I heard him around. I heard my brother like messing with the dog food bag, so I assumed he was feeding them. But I didn't hear the dogs getting all excited about eating. So I don't know if he fed them this morning. I'm gonna go around and check their bowls. Like if there's still water from yesterday in their dishes, that means they weren't fed today. And I'm not even sure if they were fed yesterday because I again like much like today, I'm just assuming that they were fed. But anyway, as I was watering the dogs and I got around to Stitch, his dog dish was like turned over and he was like standing on it, just being like very expectant about me serving him some water. And I can't serve him water when he's standing on his dog dish as it's turned over. So I'm like trying to flip the dog dish with my foot. And I'm like telling him, Stitch, move. Stitch, get out of the way. And he's just kind of like still there, just like looking at me, just happy to like get some water soon. But I need him to move off of his dog dish so I can flip it back over proper and serve him water that way. So he didn't respond to the English commands, but then when I tell him in Navajo, like Stitch, no what he just in that instance, he just backed off and stepped off his dog dish so I could flip it over. So somehow, like the dogs understand Navajo a lot better than they understand English. Huh. So I should probably like learn more Navajo so I can order the dogs around better. What's that sound? I hear something in the distance. Okay, there's definitely something. Oh, it's a propeller plane. That's what I'm hearing. Like I'm hearing this rumbling. And it's like, is someone driving up in a big truck? Like, if that were the case, the dogs would be barking. Maybe it's too far off, but I can still hear it. And go outside and yeah, it's a propeller plane. Off in the sky somewheres. Oh, and since I got court tomorrow, my mom's sending me out on an errand to go do some shopping at the local Family Dollar. We need to get a new salt shaker, and also we're running low on water, so I'm gonna haul some drinking water after my court tomorrow. So tomorrow I just want to kind of get it done and finished as soon as possible. So I might head there pretty early, get it out of the way so I can get these errands done and get back here and do some community service. Maybe I'll only do 2 hours tomorrow because of how busy I'll be tomorrow. Melody says it's the anti-lewd anti-lewd patrol flying around in a propeller plane, making sure I'm not doing anything lewd. Trying to peer through my windows. Is he drawing something inappropriate? Oh, I don't know. Like it looks too fuzzy and grainy from here. Melody says a salt shaker, the most divine of quests. a salt shaker, shaker. Uh, that's it for my Dr. Pepper. Now it's back to the coffee that I was working on this morning. I had a Dr. Pepper with lunch, which consisted of leftover stew, and then afterwards I decided to just go ahead and like finish my last slice of anchovy pizza. Oh God, I love anchovy pizzas. I love anchovies. Any topics anyone wants to talk about? Oh, I got dizzy all of a sudden. Oh yeah, my daily medication. Where did I put it? Uh, for my slight high blood pressure. Oh, Melody wants to talk about something. What you want to talk about, Mel? Darling, sweet Melly Mel. Perhaps a cute mini animation? Huh? Yeah? What kind of cute mini animation? Pray tell, love. Pardon. Fill me in on this mini animation idea. like the one I sent on Discord. Hey, let me take a look. Oh, yeah, that cute one. Yeah, it looks like a fairly simple loop. The assist could be done. So I imagine you want it done of one of your cutie OCs. Because lately I've been wanting to do like a cute animated loops, but post them on my Twitter and have them be of like maybe recognizable characters, either from Sonic the Hedgehog. That's always going to be my go-to. Sonic the Hedgehog with either Rouge the Bat or Cream the Rabbit, or maybe something like new and relevant, like maybe a Hell of a Boss from Vivsy Pop, or just another cartoon character from an existing thing, like a fan art thing. But I don't watch many recent cartoons and to know which ones to do, because like most of the recent cartoons I've been watching are mostly just animated series from Netflix or Rick and Morty. Those are like probably the only cartoons I've been watching recently. I finished watching the fifth season of F is for Family from Netflix. It's pretty good. Uh, Melody says Floof needs to watch more cartoons. Yes, I do. Melody's not a fan of Rick and Morty, but F is for Family is like pretty funny. And like this season, in the previous season, it's like the father figure, the character was like in a way like kind of forced to try to reunite with his dad because his abusive father comes back into his life, and his whole life growing up he's always known as his father as like this abusive shithead. But now in his twilight years his father comes back into his life, and he has this demeanor of this like lovable old grandpa, and the rest of the family just loves him. It's like they're just they adore him because he has that sense about him, is like he's just this doddering old man who seems like a great grandfather, but the the father like always knew him as this abusive shithead, and like with the juxtaposition of what the father knows and how you see this old man act, like how he is, like you start to like wonder, is like, well, is the father crazy? It's just so frustrating for him because he grew up like just being abused by this old man, like fucking getting, spare the rod, spoil the child, and just like getting beat with belts or what have you. But toward the end of the show, it's like you find out that, yeah, like that old man, like the doddering old kind grandfather, he was a shithead in his earlier years toward his son, and just like this vicious, vindictive, spiteful old man, very opinionative. Melody says, find cartoons despite being seen more as mindless entertainment. I find them far more mentally engaging than normal TV and movies. Yeah, like some cartoons like lately have just been pretty interesting and deep. Like I like the I like the adventure that like Adventure Time took me on, and the ending was just so satisfying and sad. But I hear that there's like another like short movie ending that kind of like ties up what happened to Jake and Finn, like at right at the very end, because the season finale, the the cartoon finale for that show, like it's like a retrospective. Like you're introduced to these new characters who come into contact with one of the familiar characters, and I guess it's X amount of years, like in the future, and like the familiar character that these new characters come across. It's like they start they hear the story told to them about Finn and Jake, and then you go through that adventure, and it's just so like such a heartwarming ending. But I guess there's like a movie which kind of like ties up some loose ends. So I still got to check out that movie, but I really enjoyed that one. But anyway, like I was saying with F is for Family in the previous season, like yeah, that the guy's father comes back into his life, and then at the very last episode, he dies of a heart attack. So this season, like the main storyline is just like I guess in his dying words, the old man like whispered the words box 16. So the whole season, like all these like side adventures and like side storylines are like going on. It's like really wacky, crazy, and vulgar. It's just like fucking hilarious. But the main storyline throughout the season is just like the father, like just like okay, his name is Frank. He's trying to find meaning in what his dad was trying to tell him when he said box 16. And he goes and like he stumbles across like several red herrings throughout the season. Like he finds like storage boxes that his father had kept, and one of them was labeled box 16. So he tears through that trying to find some significance and meaning, and eventually he like finds a key which is labeled 16, and he goes around trying to like find where this key fits, because all throughout his life, like yeah, his daughter, like not his daughter, his father was a shithead to him, like just really abusive, opinionative, and just like one of those really like hard-headed cases. And then toward the end of his life, that's when they started like opening up and like actually being like a wholesome father and son. But then like he dies too quickly before anything can really be resolved. So through this season, like Frank goes on this like little quest to find some sort of like a meaningful message that his father was trying to impart to him through this these last words, box 16. And he goes on this whole wild adventure just to try to find meaning to that, and trying to find, even though his father's dead, just trying to find some sort of like acknowledgement or acceptance of like of just his father just finally being like a wholesome father to him, like legitimately, or just find trying to find like a hint of something that will make him convinced that his father, in the end, like though he was a shithead, like he was a good dad and loved him as a son. But in the end, like it was all just a wild goose chase, because at the end, like, I'm gonna spoil it here. So like, if you don't want to hear any spoilers, or if you're watching the show, I'm sorry, but here we go. Like, what his father whispered, box 16. He wasn't saying box 16. He was saying Bach 16. And Bach, you know the piano player from way back then, the classical guy. Melody says, spoil it. The classic piano player, Bach. And he was like referring to Bach 16 because I guess that song was used in a beer commercial that the old man liked. And he thought it would be a funny joke if they played Bach 16 at his funeral simply because it was on a beer commercial. To see Frank, it's like his whole quest or his whole adventure trying to find meaningful, like, some sort of meaning behind what his father was trying to impart to him. It's like, what was box 16? Was it like an important message? Did my father leave something behind for me? um well, like, during that whole like escapade, like, he did find the locker of where that key went to, and that locker was filled full of like audio recordings that his father had left behind, and it's just like random recordings of just diarrhea of thought. Like, his dad would just like talk into this video recorder and just like relay just random thoughts and ideas, and that's it. But in all actuality, like, when his father said box 16, he was really saying box 16, and he wasn't trying to say anything meaningful at all. It was just a song request for his funeral. He was trying to trying to tell his son as a joke, like, to play the song at my funeral. And it just kind of like more or less kind of ended that way. Like, Frank came to accept the knowledge that, you know what, my my parents were both terrible, and they had sex and just had me. Like, there was like no deeper meaning to his relationship with his father. His father was just down and out, just a real shithead. And it just kind of like made me think of the me and my relationship to my biological father, and just like think like, there's nothing like that I would want or desire from him. Because like, after my parents' divorce, like when I was 12, and I was left to raise my help my mom left to help my mom raise my little sisters, it's like he had little to nothing to do with us afterwards, and he went on to like have like another family. So I have like half siblings. Would you leave my bed alone? Come on, get out of here. Get. Yeah. Okay, he knows he's in trouble. But yeah, like thinking of that show and how like Frank was so desperate to have some sort of meaningful relationship or message with his father, it just kind of like struck me as odd. It's like, yeah, it sucks for people who have that sort of situation, or like love lost with their father. But for me, it's like, I'm glad I have nothing like that. I'm glad I have no like emotional hangups when it comes to like my biological father leaving me. Afterwards, like, life was just fucking difficult, and he just more or less abandoned us because of his loose dick. Like, he was cheating on my mom, and then just kind of kept at it even after the relationship was done. So there's like really nothing I want from him, and there's like really nothing I care to know about him. And for the longest time, I thought he was dead, and just figured it was like, if he's dead, he's dead. There's no love lost here. So it's a fun story. It's a fun cartoon. F is for family, but it's like, why are you trying so hard to connect to your father who was a shithead to you for like your whole life and was like absent for like X amount of years? And when he's like in his twilight years, he finds that like then is appropriate to come back and try to be like this great guy. It's like, why do you feel so emotionally involved with a father like that? Because in some ways I sort of have like a biological father like that, and he's out of my life, and like I don't care. I really don't care. So it's a funny cartoon. I still recommend that people watch it. I highly recommend it, and it's because it's just so fucking hilarious. But just what are you doing under there? Better not be tearing away at my mattress. There's already like bits and pieces of foam here and there. Okay. Scratch my mattress again, and I'm gonna give you another little smack. Okay. Anyway, that was just my thoughts on the story. Like my personal thoughts and my personal experience. It's like it is funny to like just see him try so hard for acceptance and meaning from his father. And it's hilarious. But I'd never be caught in the same situation. And, Melody says, or if you watch longer series like Family Guy, Simpsons, etc., watch them in reverse order. Yeah, how does that go? Like, I know with the Simpsons, if you watch them in reverse order, it's just like really kind of like really wacky nowadays. But whereas when it first came out, there was like a little more like value in the storyline, and sometimes like but way back in the day when I first watched The Simpsons, there was like even some sort of moral to the stories. But nowadays it's just like them going on wacky adventures or whatever, trying to keep up with Family Guy. Hey, get out of there! Stop messing with my mattress. Mona says, you start with what we have today, but as you go further in, the episode quality reverses. So instead of season rot, the episode quality gets better and better. Yeah. Like, I think it was a year or so ago, I went ahead and sat down, allowed myself to like watch a full episode of The Simpsons, and oh my god, it was junk. I mean, it was bad. it's like it had little to no storyline whatsoever, and like the episode as it went through like scene to scene, it felt like a rough jump cut because you would see something happen, but then it would cut to something else, and all of a sudden that thing that took place is somehow resolved, and I felt like, am I watching a rough cut of some sort? Because the the story fluidity is just so abrupt and just real janky. Notice says here, nerd. No, if you send me a link, I'm gonna have to check it out later because I'm trying to avoid copyright strikes or copyright claims. Yeah, like a lot of the videos I've been posting lately, when I reference something or show something on these streams, they've been getting copyright claims on them. So I'll just have to check it out later. Send it to me in Discord. Check! Get away from there! Stop doing that! Come here. Come on. Don't like getting after you because you're a fat chunker kitty, but stop tearing up my shit. Look at you. Can't stay mad at you, but if I find you doing it again, I'm gonna smack you. Okay. Melody says no copyright can be done here as it's voiceover. Um, okay, let me check, but I'm not going to show it on screen. I'll let it load up a bit. Ah, a little documentary, The Fall of the Simpsons, How It Happened. Well, I hope the audio isn't copywritten. Oh wow! And it's got like a top comment. I think I don't know if it's pinned, but a comment from Larry Bundy Jr. He's like another YouTuber I follow, like who does reviews of video games. I think this is him. If it'll fucking load. Okay, my OBS is acting weird. Yep, that's Larry. Why am I not subscribed to him yet? I thought it was. There we go, subscribe. Let's check this one out.
There is a show that airs every night on the Fox network from around 6 to 8 p.m. And it's
Yeah.
an animated series about a family of five: Homer, Marge, Bart, Lisa, and Maggie. And it's not an exceptionally entertaining show, in fact, it's downright mediocre. But what's so unusual about it is that the show goes by the name The Simpsons. And the reason this is so strange is that it bears a striking resemblance to another animated TV series from the early 90s, one also called The Simpsons, which many people, myself included, consider the greatest piece of television of the 20th century. But make no mistake, no matter how similar these two appear, no matter what surface level resemblances exist, these are not the same show. And this,
Yeah,
friends, is the story of how one became the other. How one of
that's
the
for
best
true.
and most influential TV.
You want? I want to watch this in depth, so I'll like watch it after I'm done with my stream. Melody says it's a narrator talking about how the Simpsons went to decline, and she also quotes, "Hello, you." I don't know what that quote is from. What's that quote from? I wonder. Yeah, like I remember when The Simpsons had like really in depth, like quality storylines, like the Santa's Little Helper episode for Christmas. It's like Homer's trying so hard to like make a little extra money or cash to like make a happy Christmas for his family, and he even resorts to like going to the dog tracks to try to win some extra money to like have a decent Christmas. But then in the end, like the dog he was betting on just fucking loses and gets tossed out by his owner into the streets. And so like he just they him and Bart feel sorry for the dog and they bring the dog home. And so in the end, like money didn't really matter with like making a happy Christmas. It was just like I guess finding the joy in the simple things and family togetherness. Because then like at the end of the day, he couldn't get any extra money, but he brought home like this deadbeat loser dog from the dog tracks, and then like the whole family was overjoyed. It says like early Homer and Bart were awesome. Yeah, they were. Uh, it's like they don't make as much fun at child abuse as they used to do back then because like almost like every other episode back then, Homer was just there like strangling strangling Bart. And it was a hoot back then. Like people laugh, but then like you can't like have that sort of humor nowadays. Is too offensive. But it was funny. Oh, and the classic Itchy and Scratchy of like how gory and bloody it was. It was shocking to see as a kid, but it was just still freaking hilarious. Nah, I'm gonna go ahead and storyboard him licking all his fingers. Why didn't I just go ahead and copy both of these? Melody says where Bart was more of a rascal scallywag than the sociopath idiot sidekick he's become. Yeah, totally. Melody says just over 35 minutes, dorky. Thanks, Luffy Love. Ah, I might go ahead and take a 35-minute shit. No, I can't do that. I might have, however, go ahead and go take a short shit and roll myself a smoke while I'm at it. Have a little smoke break. And then sometime today, I got to find time to do a little bit of coding and programming study. Right now, I think I'm still in the coding, like I'm still learning the basics HTML to HTML5. I am getting the hang of it. Like yesterday, I struggled a little bit with some of the coding, but then like I misunderstood like an example they were representing. But then when I wrapped my mind around it, instead of trying to like copy the example, I had to like just like take what they were meaning and understand what they were trying to say, because sometimes when they give examples, it's like, oh, I just have to do that, and just like I would just copy it and like be right off, and like I understood it. But this example was a little confusing, and when I tried to copy it, like I kept failing that little portion until I kind of like reread what it was that they were trying to express to me, and like even like looking at like one of the hints, it was still confusing. It's like, yeah, I'm doing the same thing. Like I don't know what's going on, but yeah, after a little bit of like just trying to think it through, like I figured it out. So yeah, I'm still learning, but like it's not as complex as I thought it was going to be. Well, at least for now, because like I'm just doing like HTML basic coding, and it doesn't seem all too difficult. But then I'm thinking that once we get into things like C# programming and that computer language, like it's going to be like a freaking time and a half just trying to figure it out. Melody says turbo turds. Yeah, you know what? Let me go ahead and just take care of that right now because I can kind of feel it. Oh yeah, it's something's moving along. BRB. I shall BRB everybody. And you, Fat Jack, look at this. No, you don't do this. You don't tear up my bed. Look at all of this. No, no, no. He still doesn't get it, but make him understand someday. Anyway, I shall BRB. And I'm back. Whoo! Got me my rolled tobacco cigarette. To anyone wondering, this is like wheat rolling paper. It's pretty fancy. But oh man, for someone who doesn't eat as much as he used to anymore, like I'm still dropping fairly decent sized deuces. Has anyone out there like dropped a deuce so big it feels like your diaphragm bottoms out? Gross, Black Horse. Don't talk about that shit. Literally. Melody says 20 minutes. Sweet. Do do do. Melody says you and my dad would get along famously about this subject. Ah, wonderful. Did I use the right terminology? Like your it's like your diaphragm right here under your lungs. Is that it? I'm thinking about it now and like yeah. Yeah, it's like right there under your lungs. That compartment, not compartment, but that barrier. Melody says correct. Yes. Yes. Ugh. I better bless myself too, since I have court tomorrow. No, wait. It's supposed to be just like smoke. You puff the smoke, you don't inhale it, and then you breathe it, like you blow it into your hand, and then you bless yourself. I think when you bless yourself with smoke, you're not supposed to inhale it. Since I have court tomorrow, I'm just like hoping for some good news, because there's been little movement or updates as far as like in my employment goes or my schooling goes. The only progress I've made is in my community service, and that's kind of like a little, like I'm falling short a little bit because I was sick for 2 whole weeks and just didn't feel motivated to work in that condition. And usually when I get sick like that, like it only lasts about a week. But since my cabin is as cold as it gets pretty cold in here, it was hard to just break, have this cold break, but it finally did. And I haven't put in like a full 20 hours of work because I just started working again on it last week, and that was the Thanksgiving holiday. And hell, if I'm going to work on a Thanksgiving, or hell, if I'm going to work on a holiday. But as far as employment goes, I haven't gotten any calls back, any notifications. I even applied to the local like convenience store down here who has like a help wanted, and they need a stalker and a cashier, and I applied for the stalker, but nothing yet. And as for my schooling, I haven't heard back from FAFSA, so I'm starting to worry about that. Like if I don't get that school funding for these college classes, I can't go back to school. So since I'm worrying about that, I figured I might as well start training myself. Best case scenario, I do get the funding and I do get to take the online classes, and I'll have a leg up because I have a little bit of like coding knowledge under my belt now. But worst case scenario, at least I got the ball rolling. Like worst case scenario, I don't get the funding and I can't go to school because I have a no money. But if I can teach myself how to code and program for free, at least I can actually try to get a remote job, like coding and programming or designing websites. So we shall see how that goes. But as for right now, like there's been little progress to report for my court tomorrow. Melody's saying it's like the drum skin under the lungs. Yeah, the diaphragm. Oh, oh man, geez, I might just have to take a nap after this. Okay, now we move on to him like rubbing his belly. Trying to show his hand coming down after he's licked his paws clean. And he just starts rubbing his belly because he's so satisfied. Melody says, yeah, this is done through your own initiative because pieces of gainful employment continue to fuck you around. Yes. Yes. Mm. All the job employment opportunities, either I need training that's too expensive for me to like get certified for, or they just keep coming up with excuses not to hire me. Oh shit, I forgot his tail. Yeah, just rub that belly. Okay, let me see. Melody says 10 minutes left. Yeah, Melody's saying like a case of being eternally lost in the system. Yeah, that's me. Can't get a leg up because no one will give me an opportunity because they're weirded out about me due to my label and my fence. Like, what do you want me to do? Fucking starve. That's what they want me to do. They want me to either fuck up or kill myself. No sweat off their back. If I fuck up, they'll have an excuse to just plug me right back into the prison system and make money off of me, or they just want me to kill myself. It's like, oh, that's just one less, quote unquote, drag to society on us. Yeah, they don't really fucking give a shit, assholes. Okay. Oh yeah. Melody says, eternally, we're just processing your. Yeah, we're just processing your application. Yeah, forever. Issa says, "Hey, Issa's back. Sweet." Anyway, let's see what was. So we have like a bunch of crows in the corn stalks, and then the coyote comes up. He walks up. So let's try to visualize corns and or crows in the corn stalks. How would a crow land on a corn stalk or like try to bite? I guess they would try to like bite at the corn to like loosen it from the stalks, loosen from the stalk, and then let it fall to the ground and try to peck at it that way. So maybe storyboard like a corn stalk or like a bunch of corn stalks, and like have a crow fly in and like try to peck at one of the ears of corn to like pull it off, and in the next shot like have like some of the corn just kind of like laying on the ground, and maybe have like a crow pecking away at one of the ears of corn already, but then on another ear of corn that had just fallen, like have a crow fly down and start pecking at it. Melody says 5 minutes. Okay, so let's say we have like a worm's eye view of some of this corn. Whoa, after I drop that deuce, like other things are moving along. I might have to drop another deuce here after a little bit. So we have like a crow flying in. And we have all this corn. And we have a corn stalk here with an ear of corn just kind of like hanging out. And a crow kind of like flapping around, trying to peck at it, knock it loose. So he's like pecking at this ear of corn, flapping around, and then we show like a shot of the ground, and we see like the base of the corn stalks, and like they're in rows, of course. And then let's have like a ear of corn already here, and then this other ear of corn like falls to the ground. Thump. And let's say that off in the further in the background, there's already a crow right here pecking away at this piece of corn. Then in the next shot, we use the same bit right here. Copy, oh, copy, paste. Kind of like erase some of this. And just focus on this other bit of corn. And then this other crow that was pecking away at it flaps his way down to this ear of corn and starts eating at it. And that's time. Save. I hope you all enjoyed this community service art stream. If you did enjoy it, no matter where you've like seen it, either Twitch or YouTube, if you liked it, please follow or subscribe. If you want to contribute to this project, the Navajo Coyote Stories Reanimation Project, there's a link in the section below. It'll take you to my Ko-fi page, and there you can donate any dollar amount. Any amount would be appreciated. If you do, that would be fucking awesome. If you don't, that's cool. Um, yeah. Until next time, this has been Johnson Blackhorse, the one and only, and I shall check you all later. Sweet. Bye.